Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do a total distance problem given velocity. And this one, normally with velocity, if you're given velocity and you got to find the total distance, so total distance equals the integral of the absolute value of velocity. And we talked about that earlier and the reasons why from A to B. So if you were to have your velocity curve and it's doing some stuff, in order to take the absolute value of it, you got to figure out which parts are negative and flip it. And how do we do that? Well, we have to use a piecewise function. We have to create a piecewise function, and wherever it's negative, you'll do the opposite of that function, and then wherever it's positive, you just keep that function the same as the positive. So we have to identify, is there anywhere where this function's negative? If so, we create a split and a piecewise, and we do the opposite on that part. And then if you guys remember how to integrate a piecewise from there. So let's just go ahead and check this out. Sine of t. Well, think of sine of t, and we're only going from 0 to pi over 2. So 0 is right here, pi over 2 is right here. And if you think about sine, which is the y values, the y value is positive everywhere there. And we're only going halfway. We're only going to here. So is sine ever negative in that interval? No, so we don't have to worry about this piecewise split. I was hoping to find a problem where we had that piecewise split, but I couldn't find one. If not, you could probably find other videos on the internet for that. So all we have to do is we have to integrate from 0 to pi over 2. And I use this trig one because I know you guys hate trig of the absolute value of sine of t dt. And once again, sine is just positive in that entire interval. So we're really just going to do the antiderivative sine of t dt from 0 to pi over 2. And that integral is going to be negative cosine of t from 0 to pi over 2. So that'll be negative cosine of pi over 2 minus negative cosine of 0. So then that becomes negative 0 plus 1, which equals 1. And that's it. So all you have to do is you're just integrating the absolute value. The worst thing that can happen, and only sometimes this happens, is that you have that negative interval. So once again, you would do a number line test. If you guys remember that, it's like a first derivative test on the function. You can factor it, find the zeros, test it, see where it's positive or negative. And wherever it's negative, you would then just do the opposite of that function and split up your integral based upon those intervals.